Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, then welcome all. This is a shifting video. It's pretty quiet this morning. I actually forgot to plug this in. Let me go ahead and plug in this in so it doesn't die while I'm talking to you guys. Alright, so we're going to talk for a couple minutes because I needed to let you guys know what happened in my hero. I hope I didn't give too much of spoilers away, but I wanted the video to be a little bit quick so you guys can probably guess what happened when I went back. Even though I said I wasn't going to go back right away, I figured just go back and just own up to it because it's better than like not doing anything. So it's been a tough morning for me, as you guys can tell, because I'm not in the best of moods per se. I did find out something really important while I was there, and I'm going to jump into what happened. I'm also going to be timing this video because I'm getting ready to leave in a little bit, but I wanted to do a video for you guys really quick. So I went back to my hero, and of course I was afraid to go to Toshinori's house after what I did to him because that was only a night ago. And I almost didn't release the video to you guys, and it has nothing to do with me not wanting to let you guys know. I don't feel like there's enough happening. I feel like I'm kind of running into the same thing, but yesterday was something major, so that's why I decided to go ahead and do my video even though it was late. And I haven't even confided in anyone else, but when I went back to my hero, I was waiting outside of Toshinori's house because I was scared to go inside. Then I decided it's a good idea to go and peek around in his window. So I looked in the bed to see if he was sleeping. Toshinori wasn't asleep. I said, okay, well, I'll just go to the front door. But when I got to the front door, I was just staring at it. I just didn't want to go inside because I'm just like, I don't know, because I don't know. Toshinori wasn't himself at all, and he didn't sound like him either. So then the door just opens. Toshinori is standing in the doorway, leaning up against the doorway, like this. So I'm like, hey. He's like, come in. I'm like, how about we talk out here for a minute? I just want to talk. He's like, come in. So I come in. He's like, have a seat. So I'm sitting there. I'm talking to him, and I'm just talking to him about. I'm like, look, Toshinori, I know that you're probably upset over what happened, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. You made me upset. When I get angry, I have every right to lash out. You know I'm going to lash out at you because that's what I do. And he's like, no, I don't. I don't know that you're going to lash out at me. How am I supposed to know that? So then he's like, because of what you did to me, you really got my mind kind of squirming right now. My wheels are really turning. I'm sitting across from him, staring at him, and even his expression and everything he's doing is different. So then I'm like, well, I get the feeling you're not Toshinori. I said, who are you? And he says, I'm Cain. And I'm like, you're Cain. Who is Cain? He's like, we've met before. I'm like, no, we haven't. I haven't met anyone who looked like Toshinori. What do you mean we've met before? He's like, I come from a darker place. And when he said he came from a darker place, I'm just like, I had to really think. And I'm like, wait, Frodo, of course. Now I know. He goes, yes. He's like, I'm raising a teenager right now. And I'm like, the teenager? I said, no, Frodo is only 2. He's like, maybe in your world, he's 2. I'm like, okay. Well, at least I know he grows to be a teenager because you remember my worry. So that's kind of a relief. So I go, well, that's a relief. He goes, what's a relief? That your kid didn't become a villain? And I'm like, so basically you're like, I said, first off, how did you get here? Why are you and Toshinori switching places? And he's like, we didn't swap places. I was with Keigo, me, him, and I guess a few other people. And he said suddenly, out of nowhere, he ended up in this realm. When he says this realm, he's talking about the realm that I went on. My hero, to the one I go to. He said suddenly I was there, and then I had all these people surrounding me. I guess they were heroes, and they were telling me that from now on I'm going to be Toshinori. My name is no longer Cain. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to the people at the school. I need to figure out what the hell is going on here, because this is making me really upset. And I'm like, Cain, I don't know who the F you are, but I know you're not from here, and you need to leave. You need to leave now, because you don't belong here. And he's like, I'm not leaving. I'm Toshinori's replacement now. I'm Toshinori. And I'm like, you're not Toshinori. And he's like, yes, I am. He goes, by the way, I haven't done anything because I need to get you back for what you did to me. I thought long and hard about what I should do. You didn't really hurt me in any way, so you sort of tortured me with pleasure. And then when you left, I was just left with that feeling of emptiness inside. And his voice didn't even sound like Toshinori anymore. It's like after he revealed himself, his voice went away. So I'm standing there furious because I'm just like, what the heck happened? And are we good on time? Okay, yes, I think we are. So I'm standing there furious about what happened. By the way, my lips is still I'm just gonna have to like put some like chapstick on it, like really good. So I'm just furious. I'm just like, he's like, I have the perfect game for us. And I'm like, I don't want to play. I was like, I don't want to play any games with you. I really need to leave. I'm gonna go talk to Principal Nezzi. I'm gonna go talk to all of them. I said, who exactly? So I look at him. I'm like, my arms are kind of folded. Like, I'm like, so who told you to do this? I'm like, name their names personally so that way I can call them out. And he goes, wait. He's like, wait a minute, hold on. You can't think that I'm just gonna give up their names for no reason. What are you gonna give me in return? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I going to give you? Like, I'm not giving you nothing. And he goes, oh, yes, you are. And so, like, I turned around to go to the door, and he just did this and closed it. So I'm like, okay, so basically, Toshinori has telekinesis now. Apparently this one, or whatever. So he's like, you're not going anywhere. And I was just like, fine, what do you want to do then? You know, I'll accept whatever he wants. He's like, you said you wanted to play. I go, I never said that. I never said that. I did not say that. And at this point, I'm kind of just mad because it's like, I'm just mad because it's like, what the heck? Toshinori, like, what happened to Toshinori? So he's like, let's go to the bedroom. I was like, I feel better out here. He goes, fine, we can stay out here. I'm like, so I'm standing there and he's like, he walks around me and he's like, you wearing this pretty dress. He's like, and then you came in here and you assaulted me. I was like, but this wasn't the dress I was wearing. He goes, I'm like, look, I never said I wanted to play. And he goes, don't tell me what you said. I feel like that's what you said, so that's what you said. And I'm just like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? Because honestly, my mind is not even thinking about the situation of it now. It's thinking about going to the school to find out what the heck happened. Because obviously they're covering up something. If they got a clone and they got him to come here. Or basically, it's the candy thing all over again. Like, I can't trust these freaking people, I swear. So I'm just like, okay, well. He's like, take off your clothes. So I started taking my stuff off. Like, I took it off quickly because I'm just like, whatever. And he's like, you did that a little too fast for me. Like, I didn't get to enjoy seeing you remove anything. And I was like, you realize that I'm not your girlfriend, right? I'm basically nothing to you. I'm just this person. And then he does this, and we're in this room. So when he does this, the room changes. It's kind of like what happened before when all the doors started opening and I went to this white place. Except it wasn't a white place, it was this room. And you could barely see anything because it was dark. It was like lights shining in the corner, but it was very dim. And he's like, I have this perfect chair for you to sit in. So he sat me in this chair. It had like, the chair had a phallus on it. It wasn't a huge phallus. It wasn't big or anything, but he was just like, sit here. So I sat down on it. It's normal. He's like, no, sit on the chair. So he had me sit on the chair. So the phallus thing was in me. And then he's like, I have this button. And every time I push the button, this button will send, it's going to send shockwaves through you. And I'm like, are you freaking joking? You gonna freaking electrocute me? He goes, not those kind of waves, other kind of waves. So basically it's like a vibration. So he pressed it and it moves. So I'm in his chair. I'm sitting there in the chair and I'm like, listen, Cain. And he's like, he just folds his arm. He's like, what? I'm like, this is not gonna, this isn't gonna get you what you want, you know? He's like, yes it will. I want to see you breathing in agony how you had me. I want to see you squirm and move and beg. And I'm like, so you want to get this out of the chair? Me sitting on a chair like this, in this weird freaking chair, like a torture chair. And he's like, you tortured me. He goes, oh, let me go get some honey. So he got honey. He's like, I'm gonna douse you with this honey. And I'm just like, no, because that is the worst possible thing. I don't want that on my body, okay? So I'm like, please don't put that on me. He's like, oh, I kept saying please don't, but you didn't listen to me. You did it anyway. At least, I'm like, well, at least he's not trying to, you know, like, at least he's not trying to, like, pound me. This is not Toshinori. And that explains why he resisted. That explains, like, everything. And in my frustration, I'm sitting there and he goes, you know what? He goes, nix that. So he gets rid of the chair. And I'm just, so now we're standing in the middle of, now we're back in my hero, but we're in the living room. So he walks over to the recliner chair that's there. He sits down and he's like, come here. He's like, sit on my lap. So I came in and sat down. So then he reached his hand in me and he's like, now. And then he turns me around and he's like, now I get to see your face as you succumb to my fingers. You're gonna melt like putty in my hands. And I'm like, so now you're trying to like distract me, it feels like, because you don't want me to go and talk to them at the school. But I fully remember, like, I know that, first off, Toshinori has never really done that, where he, like, had me sit down in front of him like that. So it was awkward, and it was extremely close, and very uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, you know, he goes, he's like, I could feel, like, your tension. I can feel that you're, like, really uncomfortable right now. How do you think I felt having a complete stranger rape me? I'm like, first off, I say, I mean, you get raped all the time. That's normal. That happens to Toshinori. That's just who he is. He goes, what if someone did that to you? How would you feel? And I go, if it was Toshinori, I wouldn't feel any kind of way. I'm like, that's the kind of relationship we have. He assaults me all the time, and I saw him too in return. But the thing is, he has barriers. He knows not to cross a certain line with me, and that's the way that it is. So I'm trying to explain this I'm trying to explain this to him while he's like fingering me. And so, like, I'm starting to, like, reach my peak, and I'm like, oh, no. So I'm trying to hold on to the chair and stuff, and he's just smirking at me. It's Toshinori's face, but it's not him. And it feels weird and awkward as heck. But then he stops, and he's like, I go, why did you stop? He goes, you were about the climax, right? And I'm just looking at him like, yeah. Of course, I'm breathing, like, heavy. I'm, like, shaking a little bit. And he's like, this is where you left me yesterday. I'm just going to leave you like this. I think that's enough pleasure for today. So I get up and I'm just like, he throws my dress at me. He's like, put it back on. So then I put my dress and stuff back on. And I just look at him. I got mad. And then I was like, I'm going to go talk to the school right now. I'm going to find out what's happening. He's like, you go do that then. Don't you go, you know, you want to worry your pretty little head, go ahead. So I leave out the door. If you guys notice, he's even talking to me different. Like, what the heck? His voice doesn't even sound like Toshinori no more, but his face looks just freaking like him. Like, he is Toshinori's, and I don't think I've ever talked about Cain. I don't think his name was Cain. Like, what the heck? Is Cain even his real name? Like, there's just so much. But at the same time, I'm upset, but I'm also just flabbergasted and flustered and confused and everything, because it's just like, what the heck is this? And why is everyone in on it? Like, what happened to my man? Like, where is he? So I decided, I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna pretend that. I was like, should I say anything to them? Like, I don't know. So I'm standing there, I'm staring at the door, and he sits in the chair now, and he crosses his legs, and he's like this, and he's just looking at me. He goes, what are you gonna do? He goes, I know what you want to do, because I'm staring at the door. So I'm like, screw it. So I run toward the door. He gets up and he grabs me. And I try to scream, but he put his hand over my mouth. He's like, what do you think you're doing? You're not going to go talk to them at the school. And I go, why not? And he sits down. He's like, let's talk for a minute. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. He goes, it's me though, Toshinori. I'm like, I know it's not you. You just told me your name was Cain. He goes, yeah, I don't think they're supposed to know. I think you need to keep this a secret. I don't think you should tell them. Imagine what they're already hiding from you, and now you're going to go tell them you know their secret. That's not very smart. So I'm just like, he does have a point. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm sitting there with him, sitting on his lap, another guy's freaking lap, just sitting there, no panties on. And he's just like sitting there. And it's the weirdest and the most awkwardest thing. It's just so weird and awkward just to be sitting there with him. Because the silence, it's like a dead silence, but there's also a dread, but it's also like the vibe he's giving off. It's kind of just like, I know I messed up. And so like he had the honey next to him. He starts reaching for the honey. I'm like, oh no. He goes, oh yes. And so then at that point I called my guide. And it's so funny because Toshinori never really like acknowledges my guide or looks at him. But he's like, I see you. And my guide is like carrying me away, like goodbye, like we're leaving. He doesn't wave or nothing. He just like looks. Like it's a look that's like, okay, like that. And then we leave. So at that point I left and I was feeling a little upset. I wasn't completely shocked the fact that it wasn't Toshinori, because I kind of felt that when I was trying to like assault him, when I was like raping him or whatever. Yeah. Yes, I actually gee, it sounded such a, but I mean, what can I say? That's basically what it was. Like I did assault him. So I mean, I felt that it wasn't Toshinori. I knew it in my heart, kind of, afterwards, after the fact. And that's why I regretted it so much. But then the fact that he revealed it to me shows that at least he's willing to be honest with me, whoever this Cain guy is. Like, who the F is freaking Cain? Like, I don't remember him ever saying his name was Cain. So I don't know, guys. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you before I got ready to leave. My time is up. So I have to go, but don't be afraid to like leave a comment and tell me what you think. Like, it's ridiculous, and I'll probably go back there again tonight. But I'm definitely gonna stay away from Toshinori's house since I know it's not him. I'm definitely gonna go, like, maybe I'll go see Frodo or something, like, I don't know. But anyway, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a like, and if you hated it, you know what to do. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.